This is maybe a little bit closer. So I'll give you an overall overview of what happened in June, and I have something very exciting to share with you. I started to outsource some parts of my Etsy shop. Oh, also one of my items was suspended this month, and I'll tell you more later about what happened with that. In June, I added 11 listings up from May. That's actually a lot for me because if you look at how many listings I've added, every single month I've only been able to add like not a lot. I didn't add any from January to February, and from April to May, I added 5 listings, which I felt I was proud of. I was like proud of being able to make one listing every single week and post it. But because I actually outsourced some of the stuff last month, I was able to post 11 new listings, which is, I'm really, really happy about that. And I feel like I can finally work on the things that I want to work on, which is not making marketing photos and making the videos, because I just feel like that stuff is super duper repetitive and I can train somebody to do that for me. I want to work on the more creative stuff. Visits were 827, so around the same as usual. Conversion rate similar to last month, so it was 3.1%, which I'm pretty happy about. Items sold, 26 items. Okay, so I am super happy about that because that is a jump from the 19 I made in May, and it's actually the most items I've sold since February. So why I think this is happening, I think one, maybe me adding more listings to my shop actually helped out with getting more items sold, but also it just might be because more people are looking for the things that I'm making. Like it could be a lot of different factors, and I think this is pretty good for now, and we'll see if this month it can keep up with this. My total revenue was $449. For ad spend, I decided to do $1 a day. Last month I did $0, but this month I was like, okay, maybe let's try the ads again and see how it goes. So I did $1 a day, spent around $29. The revenue was less than what I spent, but it's still okay because I made 2 sales. But yeah, sadly I spent more than my revenue, but I think it's still okay. I mean, it's only like a $7 difference. So I don't really care. It's not that much of a difference. And my ad spend conversion was 2%. So that is the number of orders, which is 2, divided by the number of clicks, which is 100. So orders, which is 2, divided by clicks, which is 100. So if you compare to the previous months, it's slightly better than March and April. March and April, I spent some more on ads, but my best ad conversion was actually at the beginning of this year. So it was around 6%. And in terms of what I did for my ad listings, I kept 8 of my listings that sold well in December, January, and February. And I also added 4 to 5 new listings, like the new listings that I made in May. I added 4 to 5 of those because I think I just want to give them a good start maybe and see how that goes. But then actually what I decided to do halfway through the month of June was to turn off those 4 to 5 new listings that I added. I don't know why, I just like wanted to turn it off. As of right now, I still have the 8 listings out of my like 40-ish listings that I'm running ads on. My net profit was the highest it has been since February, which is quite exciting. $329. Still not what I want it to be. I want it to be at least $1,000, but I think it's okay. And the actual money I received in the bank this month was $318. So this is my monthly statement, and you can see how much I spent on like fees, marketing stuff. Oh yeah, the sales number, like this 428 for June is a bit different from this 449, and that's because I think for this total revenue I put like June 1st to July 1st, but I think for this monthly statement it might just be June 1st to June 30th or June 31. I don't know how many days there are in June, so that's why there's a slight difference, but to me it's like negligible. The fees this month were $59, and then marketing $39, which makes sense because I spent $29 USD. So, and my Etsy is in Canadian dollars, so that's why it is 39 Canadian dollars. So it was just converted. So now let's talk about the outsourcing part. I think this is the most exciting thing that is happening, and it is saving me so much time. So why did I decide to outsource part of my Etsy shop? If you've been following me for the last couple of months, you know that I was very busy trying out the digital nomad lifestyle in Southeast Asia. My YouTube is my main priority. My Etsy is a priority, but when I was traveling, I just did not have time to do my Etsy. Like, I could not make a lot more listings. And so now that I'm more settled down, I'm currently visiting relatives in China. I decided that this Etsy shop is a priority, but right now I just don't want to spend that much time on it. And so I thought about what are some of the things I can outsource. So I've been working with a virtual assistant for about 2 years now. And at the beginning, she would help me a lot more with the calligraphy and the coaching stuff that I was doing. But now she doesn't do a lot of stuff. It's mainly just keeping my calligraphy business bosses Facebook group running, accepting people, and then putting them into my email list. And she also helps me with my YouTube upload sometimes, and then formatting my email newsletter. But for the last couple of months, there hasn't been a lot of things that she's been doing. So it's been maybe like half an hour, 1 hour of work per week for her. So what I decided to do was to actually outsource the Etsy tasks that didn't require a lot of creativity for me. Stuff that I could just like do like I'm a robot. Stuff that's easier for me to train somebody on. So I made this Etsy planning document to keep track of like tasks and stuff. And so I have a bunch of tasks. So I usually create the folder, and then I will make the workspace, which is basically the document on Canva where I make the template, but then with the photos, like the sample photos. And then I have the template itself, which is the template that the customer gets when they buy the listing. So the template is different from the workspace. It's very similar, but the template is without the sample photos. This is the template that the customer gets when they buy the listing. Then I have another document, and it is the listing photos for marketing. And then I have the PDF document, which is what the customer gets when they buy the listing, and the PDF has the link to the customer template. And then there's another task, which is to make the video for the Etsy listing. And then the last task, which I always do, is to upload it to Etsy. So what I've been getting my VA to do, oh yeah, her name is Des. So she has been helping me mainly with the marketing photos, the access PDF, and the video. So with the workspace and template, I am very picky about designs and stuff. So actually in the beginning, I got her to try out designing some stuff, but she's more of a general VA. Like, she's good at a lot of different things. She's not a graphic designer, right? So I actually found that I prefer to keep making the templates myself. It was actually really good for her to help me with the marketing photos and the access PDF and the videos, because that saved me, like, I think these two things combined, I don't know how much time exactly it takes, but it takes a bunch of time. And then down here, you can see that there is another person who is helping me. Her name is Jahan, and she is somebody new that I hired last month. Des is great for the marketing photos and everything, but actually I have a ton of ideas of new templates. So kind of like completely new templates that I want to design. And so I am not a graphic designer by trade, okay? I was never trained in graphic design. So for me to design all of these things in my Etsy shop, like all of these listings, it takes me a long time. And I don't know, it's just like, it's not that intuitive for me. It takes me a while to design stuff. So I wanted to hire somebody who could help me basically come up with new designs, and then I would work off the new designs and come up with the completed designs. So Jahan is helping me with that. So actually down here, she has actually been helping me with like the workspace and stuff. Like right here, you can see I asked her to work on this new template and just like play around, try to come up with a new design, and then I would work off of it and finalize the design. Oh yeah, and then I'm also training her to do the marketing photos and the access PDF and the video as well. And because I've had some experience hiring different kinds of people, contractors, video editors, I have made demo videos on all the tasks that I want them to do. So there's like how to create a new template from an existing template, how to make marketing listing photos and access PDF for Etsy, how to make a marketing video tutorial. So I would basically walk through how I do things and screen share. I used Loom for this. I am paying for the paid plan. I wish Loom would sponsor my videos because I have been using Loom for like at least 3 years. So if you work for Loom, let me know. And I think for outsourcing, I have just begun to work with Jehan, and we are still kind of in the onboarding process. It's been about 2 weeks, so I'm still trying to get to know what she can work on, what her strengths are. So I think it's gonna take at least 1 or 2 months until we find like a comfortable working pace. So yeah, it's going pretty well. I'm pretty happy, and it is saving me so much time every single week. This is how I'm working on my Etsy every week. I would say every week I dedicate 1 or 2 days to work on my Etsy shop. So back in November and December, I would work on my Etsy shop every single day. I would be making new things every single day. But right now, what I found really works is 1 to 2 days a week, I'll work on my Etsy. I will prepare things that I can outsource. And then on the other day, I'm like checking the work and finalizing the designs and posting on Etsy. And it's just so much better for me. And so last month in June, I spent around 150. Oh, I should say this is USD because I pay them in USD. So I spent about 150 USD on outsourcing my Etsy tasks. And to me, it's really worth it. Like obviously I'm making less, right? Like my net profit is less, but I truly believe that if I have some help in creating my Etsy listings, this is going to help me be more consistent on Etsy. I can post more listings, and I think it's going to help the shop overall become better, and it's going to be good in the long term. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about maybe making a video on how to hire contractors and freelancers. So if you are interested in that, let me know in the comments. Okay, let me tell you about a scary thing that happened. So on June 26th, I got an email from Etsy saying your listing is under review. So basically they suspended one of my listings, and the reasoning was they said apparently it was a potential counterfeit or unauthorized item. So something to do with like copyright and intellectual property. So they deactivated the listing, and they told me like don't remove or edit the listing. So when I looked at my Etsy backend and looked at listings, I think it became like inactive. And oh my god, I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, what if my entire shop closes down because of this? And so I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And so they said they will review the listing, and if it is reinstated, it should be available within 10 business days. So honestly, I was like, oh my god. Like I truly did not copy anybody. And so I was like, I hope that it is reinstated. So I was like so nervous. But the good thing is after 2 days, I just checked my Etsy shop and the listing was back. So they emailed me that my Etsy listing was under review, but then they didn't email me back when it was reinstated. So good thing I checked, and I was like, oh my god, it's back again. Oh my god, at any time Etsy can like suspend your shop for any reason, and I've heard of this happening to people, and that's why I think it's so important to have multiple income streams. Okay, and the other big thing that I did last month, as some of you may know, I created a completely new Etsy shop. And the reason why I made this Etsy shop is because I wanted to make more in-depth tutorials for all of you, like all of my subscribers. So I have a new shop called LuluCreativeHouse. Yes, you can go on Etsy, you can search for it. I currently have 2 listings. They are sorority resume templates, and I made a 1-hour tutorial. I posted it 2 weeks ago, and this tutorial is basically how to start an Etsy shop. I go through everything I did to start this Etsy shop, including the market research, how I'm designing the marketing photos, how I make the video, how I'm actually uploading the Etsy listing. And actually one of my subscribers bought my listing, so I have one sale. So thank you to my subscriber, Eowyn. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but thank you, Eowyn. This is so sweet. Thank you. So I have 2 shops, which is the one I always talk about in my Etsy updates. But then now I also have this Lulu Creative House. And I actually think, I don't know how much I'm going to work on the Lulu Creative House. My first Etsy shop is still going to be my main thing that I work on. I think the Lulu one will be the one I use just for fun and maybe just like to make YouTube tutorial videos. Oh yeah, by the way, if there's any tutorial videos you want me to make for the Lulu Creative House, let me know. Leave a comment and then I can make tutorial videos, like really in-depth ones, because this one right now is public and you can see exactly what I'm doing. Oh yeah, by the way, another way you can support me if you think my YouTube videos are helpful, you can go to Lulu Creative House on Etsy and you can purchase one of my listings and leave me a review. That would mean a lot to me. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, if you purchase somebody else's Etsy listing, it's actually really good because you can see the entire customer process of when you buy the listing, then what the customer gets, like the PDF document that they get, and then you can click into the Canva link. So I actually purchased one of my competitors' listings when I first started my Etsy shop. So if you want to see what the customer process is like, feel free to purchase my Etsy listing and then you can see how it is. You can also purchase a super thanks on YouTube, or you can donate to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Yeah, because like when I make tutorials like these, it takes, like this shop took me 12 hours to start, and then filming the video and putting the video and editing the whole 1 hour tutorial took like 20 hours. So I'm actually really, really happy and proud of how that 1 hour tutorial turned out. So if you want to learn how exactly I started that LuluCreativeHouse Etsy shop, watch this video next. Okay, done.